In this clip I'm going to talk about the technical equipment that I might carry when I'm rock climbing. At the moment I've got my full rack on this bandolier which I can select from. It may be that I actually keep it on this bandolier, which would allow me perhaps on a multi-pitch climb to swap over the rack between myself and my partner quickly, or it might be useful to keep it on a bandolier if I'm in a tight chimney, etc. That way I can move it around and keep it out from the sides. So what I'm going to do is talk individually about the components here and rack them on my harness the way I would carry them when leading as an alternative. What I have here are my wires, and these are my sort of main form of protection when I'm leading or building belays. I have a number of sizes here from number 1 through to 14, number 1 being the smallest one here, number 14 being the largest. Because these are my main form of protection when leading, I have them towards the front of my harness. So I'll put these on in order. And the important thing is I know what I've got and where it is so I can get it quickly. You could also vary it. I have split the wires into 1 to 5 here, 6 to 10 here, and the largest ones on separate carabiners. Sometimes on longer pitches or multi-pitch routes, I'll double up in these wires. So I might carry 1 to 10 in one carabiner and another 1 to 10 in another carabiner. Really down to personal choice. What I have here is a selection of 5 different spring-loaded camming devices. The range covers 1 to 3 with the half sizes in between. And again, for a single pitch venue where I'm on a typical crag, then that would be sufficient. And because they're not my main form of protection generally, I put them a little bit further back in my harness, but still easy to get to. Unless I'm going to an area where there is a need for more cams, that will do for pretty much any kind of route. These are Rockcentrics, and these are probably the last thing I would carry out of my selection of hardware. These work where the others may not work, and they're pretty bomb-proof. I've got a selection of 3 here, and they're the larger sizes, and that's quite typical for what people carry, although you do get them in much smaller sizes from 1 upwards. I put these towards the back of the harness, and sometimes just to stop them rattling about like cowbells, I do just shorten them by pulling the tape through and hanging them on my harness like that. Sometimes I don't actually carry those because I do have these large wires here, but again that might be down to personal preference. I need extenders to clip into my wires or hardware and attach the rope. For trad climbing, I aim for a couple of different types really. We'll have longer ones here that are made from a 4-foot sling, and I can extend that or lengthen it to try and avoid getting rope drag and also avoid lifting out my wires that I've placed. So I'll carry maybe 4 to 6 of these depending on the length of the pitch I'm doing, especially with a single rope. Otherwise I carry these, which are standard extenders, a bit longer than I would carry if I was using them for sports climbing, for example. And I'd carry maybe, same again, 4 to 6 of these. For a single pitch crag, I'll probably have it 10 at least, but I may not carry all of them on any single pitch. These are placed on my harness towards the front because I know that I'm definitely going to need these, and they're just as easy to hand as the actual protection itself. Here I have a couple of different slings that I would carry. One is a 120 centimetre or old school 8-foot sling. This is Dyneema, it's quite keeps it narrow. And that's carried on my harness by just halving it, then twisting it up, so there's no knots in it, but it'll come undone quite easily. I usually combine that with a screw gate carabiner. Quite often I'm using this on the Belay, so that's why it's on a screw gate carabiner. Doesn't have to be. That'll go towards the back of my harness. I'm less likely to need that while leading, although I might do if I find a spike or a thread. Alternative is this 240 sling, or old school 16-foot sling. So this is longer. Carry that on the harness the same way. I half it again, and then twist it up. And I'm most likely to need this on the Belay. So again, that goes to the back of the harness. Normally I would carry 2 to 3 120cm slings, and for 16-foot slings it would depend on the route. On a multi-pitch route I'd carry maybe 2, a single pitch route just 1. For the Belay I'll carry a couple of screw gate HMS carabiners, one of which is most likely to be on my knot loop for my clove hitch. The other one will at least go onto an anchor and then a snap link as well. Saves a bit of weight. I can also use that on an anchor if I choose the appropriate one where it's not possible to unclip the anchor. So that might vary. I might carry more screw gates and not carry the snap link. But I've also got screw gates on the slings that I can get as well. So that's generally what I'll carry. I might carry this doubled up for a multi-pitch route, this for a single pitch route. And that goes to the back of my harness because I know I'm not going to need it until I get to the top of the pitch. The last couple of things I might need as a leader, well, definitely need one of these, a Belay device and screw gate carabiner. Again, that goes on the back of my harness, and a nut key. Now generally the second will always carry one of these. Sometimes I carry one of these as a leader in case I get a wire stuck in a crack but I'm not happy with it and need to get it out. That'll go in the back of my harness. Finally, I've got a couple of bits of kit that I'm not likely to use but always carry. I've got a couple of prusik loops here. These are pre-tied, one's in a screw gate, one's in a snap link. I'll usually use the prusik in anger, if you like, with a screw gate, but sometimes I carry it on a snap link to save weight. These are 7mm accessory cord, and when they're tied, they're about from my fingertip to my elbow in length. So if you're buying any of this, you need to buy at least 1.5 meters to 2 meters to tie them up per prusik. In addition to those, I've got a knife. I only carry that for cutting accessory cord when I need to abseil, and I'll be retrieving my abseil rope, if you like, without leaving any gear behind. So I'll carry maybe 5 meters of at least 7mm accessory cord on multi-pitch routes in particular if I have to do a retreat, and I'll need my knife for that. And these live on the back of my harness. So this is an example of a typical rack I'd carry in a single pitch venue. Remember, you can vary what you carry depending on where you're going, what you're doing, and you can add to or take out specialist kit.